Spoiler alert, you have been warned. And now let's get started with the video. Hi there, you guys. This is Jaden here. And today in this video, I'll be doing yet another thoughts video. And this one will be on the Johnny Test episode called Johnny X Strikes Back. Now, why am I suddenly making a video on a Johnny Test episode like this? Well, it's because, if you guys didn't know, earlier today I did do another thoughts video, and that thoughts video was on both the Sign episode of Bluey and episode 485 of Naruto Shippuden. And Mr. Bean fan Disney 2005 saw that video and left a comment on it, asking me if I could watch this Johnny Test episode, as it is one of his favorite episodes, and I'm sure he really enjoyed listening to me suck off that episode of Bluey, since he is also a big Bluey fan, and another cartoon he's a big fan of is Johnny Test. So he requested me to watch the Johnny Test episode called Johnny X Strikes Back, as like I just said, it's one of his favorite episodes. And yeah, I decided, you know what, yeah, I'll give the episode a chance. I'll give the episode a nice little revisit. And yeah, it would be cool to share my thoughts on 3 animated episodes in one day. So yeah, here's my video on the Johnny Test episode called Johnny X Strikes Back. But first off, I want to describe my opinion on Johnny Test as a whole. So first off, let me say that when I was little, I used to love Johnny Test. I used to think it was such a great show, as I used to watch it all the time when Cartoon Network would air it a lot. And yeah, I thought it was a great show. I know some other people hated it and were annoyed by it being on nonstop. But for me, I loved it. I thought it was a fun show to watch, especially before they changed Dookie's voice. But then maybe in late 2022, I rewatched some clips of the show after not having seen a full episode in years. And does the show still hold up? Yes, but not as nearly as well as before. It's not a bad show. It's still a good show. As I stated in previous tier lists, I did put it at B tier, both on my Cartoon Network shows of all time tier list and on my animated shows of all time tier list. And yeah, I do think Johnny Test is a good show. I think it's watchable enough, but I don't exactly consider it to be a classic, nor do I consider it to be worth watching, though I can see why a Vanilla Rabbit lover and Mr. Bean fan both love the show a lot. It's still a good show. I still like it. I mean, I still think it can be funny at times, especially with Bling Bling Boy, and yeah, I still think it's watchable enough, and it's a nice thing to remember, but overall, I just think it's an okay show. And the Johnny X Strikes Back episode, I'm pretty sure I watched this episode back when I used to watch Johnny Test all the time, although I didn't really remember the episode too well, up until the last 2 minutes of it jogged my memory. And yeah, what's my opinion on the episode overall? It's just okay. It's just okay. I could see why this would be among Mr. Bean fans' favorite episodes, but for me, it's just okay. Maybe that's not as memorable as some certain other Johnny Test episodes. For example, being certain ones I remember considering to be among my favorites, like the one where Johnny gets the new cell phone and it turns evil. I remember watching that one a lot. Or the one where he switches bodies with Hugh Tess, his father. I remember watching that one a lot too. And the Truant Officer one where they chase after the kids for skipping school. That's another one I thought was great. But yeah, this one right here, I do remember liking it, but it not being among my favorites, even back when I loved Johnny Test. And to this day, yeah, it's no wonder why I had that opinion. It's still a good episode, though. Let's go more into detail what the episode's about. So the episode basically starts off with the villains of the show escaping and getting ready to take over the world and shit, and then it cuts back to Johnny and Dookie at their house with them, and they're at Johnny X and Super Boost costumes. And throughout the episode, Dookie kept reminding Johnny Test about this report card that he has to take care of, but he gets distracted with other shit throughout the episode, which I thought was a pretty decent joke. There was some stuff in the episode that I thought was pretty funny. I did think it was kind of funny, the joke of how Dookie can't catch a Whizbee, and Johnny kept throwing the Whizbee at Dookie's ear. Or I thought that was kind of a funny joke. Definitely not hilarious, but I thought it was kind of funny. Maybe it almost made me smirk. And I also thought Wacko. I also think Wacko's cool villain. I think his voice is pretty funny. He had 1 or 2 lines that made me laugh. And but yeah, overall, this episode wasn't hilarious, but hey, it got some good laughs out of me. That's definitely a lot better than being completely unfunny. And then they have the villain stop by Johnny's property, and they freeze Dookie and kidnap Johnny. And then, okay, so something I thought was pretty cool about the episode, and this is probably my favorite part of the episode, was how they had Dookie, Susan, and Mary all team up with a few of the side characters in the show to make this this big 6 superhero team to go save Johnny. I thought that was pretty cool, as you had these 3 characters teaming up with Gil, Bumper, and my favorite of the few being Bling Bling Boy, as Bling Bling Boy is a pretty funny character. His crush on Susan is pretty enjoyable to watch and all that stuff. Yeah, so seeing these 6 characters team up together to save the day, that was pretty cool. I mean, it is cool to have big superhero teams like that. A bunch of people working together to save the day, make a lot of characters important like that. So basically, the episode ends with the villains having lost and Johnny being saved and going off to fly away with this new big Team 6 team. And yeah, so overall, this episode was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't fantastic. It sure as hell wasn't as nearly as good as the other two episodes I talked about today, but it was still good. I enjoyed it. I thought I had some pretty funny jokes in it, had some cool stuff in it. And yeah, I can see why it would be among Mr. Bean fans' favorite Johnny Test episodes. And overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't remember if I've already said this before in the video already, but in case if I didn't, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, whereas the other two episodes I talked about earlier today are more in the 8 out of 10 department. But this one right here, still a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is still a good score. It's still way better than average. It's still a good, solid episode. And if I'm requested to watch another Johnny Test episode, chances are I'll watch that other episode and do a thoughts video on that. Overall, this episode was good. I wouldn't recommend it, maybe unless if you're a big Johnny Test fan. But overall, it was solid, and I liked it. And yeah, that's about it for the video, you guys. If you guys want to, you can let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this episode, or maybe like what's your favorite episode out of these 3 episodes I talked about today. The Sign episode of Bluey, episode 485 of Naruto Shippuden, and this Johnny Test episode. You can let me know what your favorite is between these 3 episodes. Heck, I might even do a poll on those 3 episodes later today. But yeah, if you guys want to, you can let me know in the comment section down below. And that's it for this video, everybody. Have a good rest of your Saturday, and thanks for watching the vid.